20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, it's satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice. Hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, or take you to hell. I ain't fooling, can't you tell? I'm a live I'm alive.
Hello. How you doing, folks?
Hello, good evening.
I'm Scott MacArthur.
And my name is Andy Muir.
Good to see you guys. Happy New Year. How are you, mate?
I'm okay. Very well, thank you, sir.
Good. A lot of people in tonight. Is there something happening? That's nice to see you all. Welcome to the show. We've got a different show tonight again. We've got a special guest, but we'll get to that later. It's been a busy week, hasn't it, Andy?
Certainly has. Some threads. Some
What's
threads
been
on the Facebook. Oh, some threads on the Facebook. Oh, you want to do the thing then?
You might as well.
You
Hang
might
on.
as well do the thing.
I might as well do the thing. Yeah, I'll do the thing. Here's the. What's been occurring?
What's occurring? Well, there's now we've got 8,000 odd members, 8,400 members. Not bad. That's very good. I think we have dropped, not dropped, but what will I say? Membership just dropped a little because of I think this is the holidays and people are away sunbathing and skiing. And are they skiing this year? What's going on? I don't know. People are away, maybe. People aren't anywhere, mate. No. And there was about 5,500 active members this week, which is
Brilliant.
Very good.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I don't have a top 10 members this week, but you were all great. You were all fantastic.
There's been 31 new people joined this week, which I think is amazing in the Christmas week. So absolutely brilliant. Right. So this week, what we're going to do, we've got, thanks, Andy. We've got the usual stuff. We're going to go through what's been happening on Facebook. Hang on. Through what's been happening on Facebook. Then we're going to look at the gigs that happened this week. Then I'm going to, I was hoping to show you a video that somebody did, a brilliant video that someone's done. I've had 3 this week. Right, I know I had a moan about it last week. I've had 3. And they're all brilliant. But unfortunately, there's been a problem. So I'm just hoping he's going to send me it while we're doing the show. And if he gets it in time, I'll show it. If not, we'll just skip on and do something next week on it. The video this week is a brilliant video that Andy found. And that's where our special guest comes in. So tonight we're being joined by Tommy Mcgregor, the one and only Tommy Mcgregor, who helped bring the Apollo back into the consciousness of Scotland about 10 odd years ago. You'll tell Tommy, I'm sure, later. With the I Was There Apollo musical at the Armadillo. So we're chuffed to bits to have Tommy on this week. It's brilliant. We're also going to have a little bit of music at the end. And I think there's a good clue when Andy starts talking about the gigs that have been on this week. So have I missed anything, mate? I hope not.
No, you're fine.
Right, okay. So this week, mate, what's been happening? What was happening at the Apollo this week?
This week, well, it's obviously quiet week, but you can keep that there. That's great. I can read it now. Well, David Bowie was headlining there, and that was a good show. Sensational Alice Harvey Band continuing their run over the Christmas period. Rod Stewart again. Like you and I had a little chat earlier, but we haven't. I don't know if Jack McCafferty of Rescued Recordings has found any Rod Stewart stuff from the 70s at the Apollo or even the Greens. So it would be good to hear. I had a listen to Liverpool Express. I'd never heard them before, but they're kind of poppy, Beatley. There's a bit of Beatles going on there.
All right.
There might be the Liverpool connection there, but yeah, they're pretty good. Andre Crouch and the Disciples sounds a bit unconventional. That could be like a alternative rock band now, but it wasn't. It was actually the Disciples were praising the Lord, so there was a sort of disco, not disco funk. No, I don't know. It was good music.
I've never heard of them, mate. I've never heard of them.
70s music, and
Right.
it was they were religious in their content.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if anyone. I don't know what there was. I couldn't find any details about the show or anything, or any reviews or anything. But I did listen to their live album from Hammersmith Apollo, which was all right. It was good. It's okay. And Leo Sayer again, doing his run as well. So he would be very popular at that time, the time of his career. Not that he's not popular now, but he probably was like the Harry Styles of his day, if I could say that.
He made one of the River records was him, wasn't it? They released that as a live album, I think, if I remember rightly.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
He was actually Leo Sayer was a brilliant singer. I mean, I was never that keen on his sort of softer music.
Yeah.
But he was actually a fantastic singer. And we interviewed him on the Apollo website. I don't know if you remember, Andy. It was a long time ago. And he was a nice wee guy, to be honest. Why did I say wee? That's size. But he's a nice guy. He is a wee guy. I mean, he's that height, you know.
And his first name isn't Leo, but no.
Oh, get ready for some information. Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know. Yeah, Michael. I think his name was Michael.
I don't know what you're talking about. I keep saying this is their USP. This is, two guys who can't remember fuck all of what I'm talking about.
All I know is I read an interview with him, and he said, my manager, was it his manager? Yeah, I think it was his manager, changed his name because he had all the hair, so it looked like a lion's mane. So he's good. I'm going to call you Leo.
Oh, right. Okay. There you go. You did know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, thanks for saying hello.
Yeah, I do.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Bowen. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Doug, how you doing? Good to see you, folks. Some familiar names there. That's brilliant. Okay, so was there anything else with these gigs? I guess you wouldn't think there'd be many bands this week, but
no.
Who is it? Colorado? What? I can't even say it. No, I can't say it.
Coral. Oh, there's Jared Hughes there. Well done, thank you, Tommy.
Oh, that was Tommy. The power of Google.
He probably knew it. He knew it off the top of his head.
Oh, of course he did. Of course he did.
Coral.
Yeah. There's no point. I can't even say it. There's no point in having a band you can't pronounce their name.
Yeah.
Ian Bamford saying Leo Sayer's manager was Adam Faith, was he?
Yeah. And I did read the stuff about him being in Roger Daltrey, writing some songs for Roger Daltrey. Yeah, I did read that. Because he was going to give that song "Giving It All Away" was one of Leo Sayer's songs, and he said, and Roger Daltrey heard it and said, "I'll have that. Thank you very much."
That's a bloody good song. Yeah. But he went a bit. Did he not move to Australia or something as well?
Mm-hmm.
I think didn't he? Yeah, I remember that. It's all coming back to me, mate. There you go.
He moved to here. I don't know if he's actually still here, but
right.
He moved to here.
Okay, so I don't know if there's much Tommy's given us more information. A Swedish gospel choir, really? That's why we can't pronounce it. Hey, Tommy, you need to come on every week with all this information you're giving us in the background. He's waving his phone at the screen.
He's like some fact guy, fact finder, fact checker for us.
Tell me, does any Steelers Wheel? That obviously I remember Steelers Wheel, not personally, but I know their music. They were a good outfit, were they not?
Yeah, they were. But
supporting
when
Bowie.
When I posted that on the site, that list on the site, a chap called David Mullen, he said that he was telling me that. Well, he said there that Jerry Rafferty wasn't in them at the time, but he came back later.
Aye, Jerry was brilliant. I really liked him. He was an amazing man. Right, other stuff then that was happening on the Facebook group. Is it?
I think so.
We had 2 or 3. One of them was a bit contentious, which I'll leave to the end. I think we've got a happy ending to it. But Jim Grennan, how you doing, Jim? Thanks for contributing as always. Jim put up a piece that made me quite teary-eyed. He mentioned Frankie Miller. And it was there was a post in the Glasgow Chronicles about Frankie, and there's about 80 odd folk have contributed to that thread. I don't think, like a lot of you said, I agree. I don't think Frankie gets anything like the kudos from fans. He does from other musicians, but he doesn't seem to get it from fans. And one of these nights, Andy, we need to play that Thin Lizzy song with Frankie because brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I think the saddest thing for me with Frankie, I never saw Frankie. I was just too young, really, I guess, at the time to see him. But I saw him at the venue in Edinburgh a few years later. I don't know if you were there, were you?
Nope.
I don't think so. Anyway,
I probably saw him on the same tour, and I saw him in Aberdeen.
Aye, and I went into the venue, and the venue is a tiny wee place, maybe 300-400 at the most, and I swear to you, I stayed in a squat at the time up in the Meadows in Edinburgh, and I had I was in a squat with 6 women, right? And I took all the girls to see Frankie Miller, and do you know how many folk were in the audience?
7?
8.
Oh no!
It was unbelievable, and he got up, right, and he had his top hat, all the usual, and the guy knocked it out of the park. He was brilliant. And at the end, he came down and he was saying thank you to everybody, and it was ridiculous that a guy with that talent and a Scottish guy at that had less than 10 people going to see him in a gig in Edinburgh. It was unbelievable. Anyway, and the other thing I was reminded of, Andy, I don't know if you remember it. Somebody's saying that's not a squat, that's heaven, that's Bonn. You've never met these women. I think you met some of them. No, I'm not going to go any further with that. It sounds like heaven, mate, but it wasn't. Anyway, the other thing that Frankie did that I think a lot of folk forget, he had a brief sort of acting career, and was it Just a Boys Game film where he played the part of a wee Ned in Glasgow, and somebody in the group said, "What would happen if it was a film?"
Right. What did you say?
What do you mean? The name of the film?
Yeah.
I think it was called Just a Boys Game or something like that. I'm going off the top of my head, mate. But somebody said in the website that can you imagine a fight between Alex Harvey and Frankie Miller? Good. Other stuff that came up. Steve Brownlee, you posted your tickets, Steve. My God, impressive. I only ever got to about 20 shows at the Apollo. I don't know how many was on your list, but it was amazing. And it was brilliant how many other people started to comment on it about them keeping their tickets. And I actually found one, Andy, the other day. I was looking at my tickets, and I've got a Sammy Hagar ticket. I didn't go to Sammy Hagar. Do you remember that?
I didn't go either.
Maybe I was drunk and I can't remember it, but I don't know where that ticket came from anyway. So that's that. Another has William McGachin. You're amazing. Your output, mate, is incredible. This week we got loads of stuff, but the one that I liked was the Fleetwood Mac one. It was brilliant. So thanks very much, William, for posting that. That's fantastic. And then finally, Well, the Stuart Cunningham posted. All he did was put bouncers discuss blinking heck. That's it. That started a bit of a debate. There's probably 200 posts on there now, and there's some bad language, naughty. But I guess it was the experience you had with the bouncers. I don't know. What was your experience for them, mate?
I steered clear of them. I only had a couple of interactions with them, and they were, just stayed away from them. Yeah, but I did think it was. It sounds like I'm a bit of a prude, but I don't know if you should. You're never going to change anyone's mind on a Facebook post, right? No. There's no point engaging in any kind of "you're a keyboard warrior," blah blah blah. It's pointless. It's really pointless.
I thought it was quite funny. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But
even Facebook got involved because
I know
we're admin and we get messages about what's going on the page, and it's you don't need to do that. It's not it's not big or clever, I understand that your feelings are hurt in your whatever you're thinking about, but you don't know what that other person has experienced, and they don't know what you've experienced. So just try and be excellent to each other. You don't have to be dicks all the time.
I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. The one thing I remember, thank you for that, man. The one thing I remember, and I think it might not be true. There was a bouncer called Big Wally. Somebody tell me if I'm making this up, right? But I remember, I'm like, all right, okay, well, not you. But thanks for that, Chris. But there was a bouncer called Big Wally, and I remember being at a gig. I think it was the Scorpions, and we were down the front, and Big Wally. It was like this character that it was a bit like Jack the Ripper. Everybody knew who he was, but nobody had ever seen him. That's my memory of it, right? And I remember one day it was like Moses in the parting of the Red Sea. This man, and in my brain, I'm sure this isn't right, but this is how I remember it. I was only 14 or so. Well, I must have been 15, 16. I remember the crowd parting at the front, and this guy, like something out of Darkman or something, standing at the front and walking towards us all, saying, "Sit down," and that's all I remember of the bouncers.
I was listening to the David Bowie concert that was recorded, and it was a crowd video, and I could definitely hear a bouncer going, "Sit down, sit down, for God's sake, sit down." It's very funny.
It's crazy. But there's two or three other things though. I mean, I remember the other thing that was a good memory for me. I remember going round the back into that wee door and get in the back, and I remember the bouncers being really quite nice. Round the back, they were all right, But I also, when I was talking to Frank Lynch once about it, and Frank Lynch was the guy who ran the Apollo for quite a while, and he said to me, and we're going to get Frank on sometime, so we can ask him these questions. But he said to me there was a lot of scamming going on that he didn't know about at the time, and he's since found out from Jan Tomacek and all the rest of it. But there was one story where there was 2 rows of seats that the bouncers used to put at the front that weren't real seats, and they used to sell tickets for these seats. Now I don't know if that's true, but that's one of the ways they used to make money, and they would put them back under the stage at the end of the gig. Or they would sell you a ticket for these seats. You'd get there, then they take the fucking seats away. So it was quite funny.
When we could talk to Mr. Mcgregor about that, because there's a scene in the musical sort of similar to that.
There is. One of the guys, here's John. Thanks, John Henry. How you doing, mate? John's saying Big Willie was a great guy. He went on to work at the Barrowland. He's real. See? I thought it was a made up memory. Honestly, I did. I thought I'd made it up.
You have a good chance of getting someone in Glasgow called Big Ollie.
All right. Burst my bubble. Why do? And, and Cheryl's saying, I lost count how many times I was told to sit down. Yeah. I remember that as well, Cheryl. That happened to me as well. I don't know. As somebody else said on the group, as Andy just hinted at, there's good and there's bad. And sometimes you just have to take it and deal with it. But sorry, mate, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
I was going to say sometimes you were lucky to get a seat.
That's true.
Yeah, a couple of times I got there and my seat was just it was a pile of. I sat down and it was just a pile of wood.
There used to be some big scary guys sitting in my seat sometimes, and I didn't want to have anything to do with them. So.
Well, you look at your ticket. You go.
Yeah, I'm not sitting there.
You're counting the seats. You're going 6, 7, 8. Oh, that massive guy's in my seat. Just you wait till
someone else. Yeah. Anyway, but one thing that was really cool that happened today about this, Dave Wilson's just saying he's lucky he never had any hassle with him. Yeah, everybody's got different experience. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of folk have said the same thing to me, Dave, that they never had a hassle at all. But it's
one of the stories in the post there was a guy at the. He said he was like 14 or something, and he was up the top at the stalls, up at the top of the circle, upper circle, and he couldn't see, and the bouncer took him right down to the bottom to the stalls and told him to sit down and gave him a seat. So,
good and bad.
It's good and bad. I mean, well, also I was telling you earlier that when I was watching the Clash video, it was pretty funny. Because they had the little bit of extra stage at the front, and the bouncers were on there, and they were either pulling people out or punching them back in. And then one of the people mentioned that the bouncer saved his life because there was a massive crush at the concert at the Clash gig, and he just reached in and pulled him by the hair and pulled him out. And I was thinking, oh, the delicate touch. Just pull him out by the hair, but said he saved his life.
Yes,
it was good. It was a good post though. Yeah.
There was I've just posted something about I don't know a couple of hours ago. It was a picture of AC/DC playing at the Apollo, taken by our late friend Stuart Campbell, and it was really funny. I mean, there was a massive response to it immediately. Folks said, "I've never seen it," but you haven't, because it's never been released. That picture, it's on this CD I've got down here. But one of the things that happened, I don't know if you saw it, Andy. Someone posted, Maureen Leonard posted,
yes,
my husband. Did you see that? That's my husband. And then Ian Gillan came back and said, it's Alan Leonard, the tough guy at the time, ended up being my mate. I thought that was lovely, and I hope Alan likes that picture, Maureen. It was terrific. That made my night when I posted that. But I hope you liked that picture, folks, because we've got a lot of these, so we're going to be getting them out to you gradually. But it's a really good one. That I love it.
McGregor, you're amazing. Your output, mate, is incredible. This week we got.
Whoa,
what's that?
The one I liked was.
I don't know what it's doing. Something's happening weird. That was you talking nonsense.
Was that me? Oh, thanks very much. Some direct feedback. I have no idea what that was. Anyway, you stop playing with your PC. Let me drive. God, these backseat drivers. Anyway, right. So I'd like us to move on now. Oh, by the way, no, sorry. Before we go on to our special guest, there's one other thing I just want to remind you of, guys, and it's this. We had some videos come in this week, and I'm chuffed. Thank you ever so much. Now, some of you, particularly Graham McDonald, came back and said, "Oh, my memory's too long. Do you mind?" Don't mind at all, Graham. Graham, you sent me your video. If you're watching, you sent me your text of the video. Absolutely get that down as a video. We'd love it. And there's a few more that have come in this week, and they're magic. I was going to show one, but I'm not going to now because we've run over a wee bit because Andy's been talking too much. So we're going to move on to the next bit. But but I think it's really important, and I know I said it, I went on a bit last week about it. If you need help, I'm here to help. I'll do the video recording for you. I'd love to help if you want help. So come on, guys. And I know a few of you have said to me, "Oh, I'm trying to pluck up the courage." You don't need courage. I'll do it. All you need to do is talk to me as if you're talking to somebody on the phone. I think it would be lovely if we could catch these things. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Right. Next up, we're going to introduce somebody to you who's been a friend of ours now for 15 years. Tell me, I'll tell if it's that right or wrong. And okay, Derek, I'll help you, mate. I'll help you with the video. 15 years ago, this man contacted us through the website and said he was interested in doing a musical about the Apollo. And he's then turned into a mate, a good friend, and a guy that we love to bits. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this guy is the one and only Tommy Mcgregor. Tommy, how you doing?
Evening. Hi, guys.
You all right?
Good.
Brilliant to see you, mate. Brilliant to see you. So, how are we going to play this, everybody? We've got a bit of video that Andy found this last week on Vimeo, and I had never seen it before. And Tommy, had you seen it?
I saw it when John put it up 11 years ago now, and that was the last time I saw it. And Andy emailed the link to me this morning. Yeah. So I had a look at this market. It was great looking at it and looking at the memories and looking at all the young faces that were in the show. Because that was 11 years ago now. So they're all in their 20s now and kind of growing up,
Mental.
So, it was great. It was great, and thanks, Andy, for sending that to me. I actually forgotten all about that wee video, and I had great fun watching it today. So I'll try and share it in amongst my Facebook friends, and because it's like John of Talisman, isn't it?
Talisman, yeah.
Done a great job. It's great. It's really it's a treasure to have that. The rehearsals going into the show, having that there forever. And in fact, I don't think a lot of the kids that were in the show have seen that video at all.
Really? So before I show the video, before I show the video, Tommy, can you just tell because not everybody online will know the story of I Was There.
Well, they should have it.
Tell us the story, mate. How did it happen?
Well, the people that don't know me, I run a charity in Paisley called Loud and Proud. That's basically it's a school of rock, and way back 20 years ago this year, I decided to do something for young people in the Paisley area, and it was going to be a marching band because my background is American drum corps from the BB, playing bugles and stuff like that, and I thought I'll do that. That failed pretty quickly, and I was just about going to give it all up, and we were in the rehearsal room. And I thought, this is all just going nowhere. I can't get what I want to, financially get what I want to do. Just about going to give it up, and we got a phone call from some guy saying, "Do you do guitar lessons?" And I was just about to say no. And my pal Ian, my son's pal Ian Thompson, said, "Tell the guy I'll take him." So I said, yeah, we do guitar lessons. This guy turned up, which happened to be the smallest guitarist in the video that you're going to see.
He was brilliant.
Conway. Great wee, turned out to be a great wee player. So from that one guitarist, we put him in with the other kids that we had with a xylophone, marimba, vibraphone, drums, bass, and all of a sudden he came with guitar. Then it started to build up, and then we had something that looked like a rock orchestra, and that's the name it got. Yeah. It was a 20-piece band. What do you do with a 20-piece band? I hadn't thought it quite through. Where could I find a stage that would host that? And then, of course, Armadillo's got quite a big stage, but why would anybody come and see a bunch of 15-year-olds playing in a rock orchestra? And that year I got Martin's book, The Apollomemories, from my son. And I read the book, and of course the book's just screaming to be told in a video, a movie, stage play. So I thought, if I put a stage play on, people will go to see the stage play, and I'll suck them in, and what they're going to get is a bunch of 15-year-olds playing rock music. And it worked. And there we go. So that and we've done 3 times now. We've done 3 runs. 2009, 10, and 2016.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely.
And the rock school's still going today. We're still producing some great musicians, going to university, becoming music teachers. Some are in rock bands, traveling the world. So it's been great. It's been a great 20 years.
Well,
but it's taking its toll on me.
You're only 19. So I'd like to show this little video now. It's only 4 or 5 minutes long. But I personally, and I know Andy thinks similar, it really captures the effort, Tommy, that you and your guys put into this. It was quite extraordinary. So let's watch the video. And this is from the brilliant guys at they know I'm showing it. I spoke to John earlier. Because it's not on Facebook, YouTube. It's only on Vimeo, but they know I'm going to show it. So I hope you enjoy this, everybody. This is behind the scenes of the rock orchestra performing the I Was There Apollo music.
Loud and Proud is a charity operating in Paisley that aims to encourage local young people to develop their musical talents. The venture was started by Tommy Mcgregor, and musicians have been formed into the rock orchestra. There is a broad range of ages within the orchestra, from 10 all the way up to early 20s, with an average age of 13. The orchestra have performed to much acclaim at a number of musical events, including the Wickham Festival. Their most ambitious gigs to date, however, are the 3 nights at the Glasgow Armadillo, performing Tommy's own show, I Was There, paying tribute to Glasgow's past musical legend, the Apollo. With the full orchestra, a second rock band, a punk band, the Right to Dance troupe, and actors, the cast list runs to over 100. The prestigious setting provides a unique experience for most of the young band members, and one they will hopefully be keen to repeat in the future.
You used to say
Bugger me, Tommy.
Oh, great memories, eh?
Jesus.
Brilliant.
I remember when I came up with this idea, I contacted you two guys and really was looking for permission to raid the website and take all the info off it. And at the same time, I was working with Tom Russell, and I'd mentioned it to him, and he looked at me as if I had horns coming out the side of my head. And he did say to me later on, he said, "I think that guy's mad." But you just got to stick your head out, stick your neck out sometimes, and go for it. And I remember when I had an idea, I went to the ABC One, I looked at the pavilion, and I was really dreamland because I had no money. And I went to the Armadillo. They showed me the stage. Of course, it's huge, and I fell in love with the place. And the girl Sue, who happens to come from Paisley, she took me around and she said, "Well, what do you think? Do you think you could just put a deposit down?" And I thought, all the money I had, my personal money, it was like 700 quid, and the script hadn't been written properly yet. The band were halfway through, but not even near at that standard at the time. I just said, "Sure, I'll come back this afternoon." I came back with all my money and gave her the money, and then I thought, "Fuck, I need to go and do a show now." So, but I'm glad I did it. It was great.
Mate, I remember when you sent me that email. I got the email and I was like, "What?" I was at work and I got the email and I was reading the email. I went, "What? A musical?" And I was speaking to my mate who I'm staying with for a wee while now, and he was there when I got it. And I goes, "You know that website I do?" And he went, "Yeah, I know that website you do. Yeah, that one." And he goes, "There's a guy here sent me an email wanting to do a musical." And he went, "A musical about what?" I went, "About the Apollo, mate." And he goes, "How is he going to do that?" And I went, "I don't know, but he's going to have a go."
At the time, I didn't know either.
Yeah.
But between the website and the book, there's just lots of information there. Plus my own experience and my mates going to the Apollo. Some of the scenes there were things that I saw or took part in. So I was kind of 25% of the script done because it was my own words and my own experiences. One of the best things you're always worried about. The tickets were 20 quid, so you paid 20 quid to go to a big professional venue like that, and you look up on stage and there's 13, 14-year-olds, and it was nowhere in the poster said this was a youth project, and I was really worried about that, but of course it went really well. And I think 2 weeks after the show, I was in the Bull Inn in Paisley, and my mate had met his friends. There was two couples there, and we got into a chat about music, and they said, I'll tell you what, we just went to see the Queen thing. What's that called again? That famous West End groundbreaking musical with Queen in it. We Will Rock You. We went to see We Will Rock You last night, and I said, I saw it. Did you like it? And they went, nah, I didn't like it very much. But we went to see another show about 2 weeks ago called I Was There. That was much better. And they didn't know who I was, so that was because all your mates are going to go, yeah, it was a great show, yeah, it was great, but complete stranger telling the truth. I thought, well, that was encouraging, and the same thing happened. I was watching a band, and I think it was the Ferry. It was I was standing at the top of the stairs. The band hadn't been on yet. My mate said, "Those guys are talking about your show," and I earwigged into this table, and the guys were saying, "Oh, let's see this show about the Apollo. It was great," and they all said great things about it, and it made me feel great. Just to get that fly in the wall, real truth, because as you say, man, he said it was the best show ever. And it's my wee auntie, so.
But I tell you, the thing that I thought about it, I mean, I loved it, as you know, but I got to take my kids, and I'll never forget that.
That's great.
It was brilliant. You know, it was brilliant. And you're getting questions about, can we do it again after COVID, Tommy?
Well, it doesn't make much. It doesn't make any money, the show. So it needs to be kind of half and half. I need to get a grant to run it all, and you know, to hire the stage and the Armadillo is about 11.5 grand.
Really?
And that's no PA system, no lights, no nothing. So that's a stage with nothing on it.
Yeah.
I reckon it's something like, to put the show on, 50 grand to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm taking a huge risk by getting some grants in that covers some costs, and then trying to sell tickets at £20. And the first and third shows broke even, and the middle one collapsed, and I ended up owing a lot of people. I think I lost about 10 grand.
Really?
But it took me about 3 years to pay it all back. I paid it all back. It was all technical stuff that I owed money to, and the guys that owned the companies were pretty good. So, and that middle show didn't have any grants. I thought, I can do this on my own, and I couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't do it. So the formula needs to be, it needs to be, 50-50. I need a grant to pay for half of it, and then it becomes a great cushion to work on, and then you still worry about ticket sales. So that the answer to that is, if I got a grant, I'd do it again, or if I could get Apollo Facebook guys to say 2,500 tickets at £20, that pays it, and we can do another one.
I mean, it's the sort of thing. I mean, Chris just said we should think about crowdfunding it or something, Tommy. Or I did a crowdfunder a couple of times. It didn't work well. But yeah, it's something I'd love to do again, because there's a new generation of kids growing up now. As I say, I try to. That's an experience that they'll always look back on that for their whole life, And some of them went on to become professional musicians, and probably are now playing in big festivals and big stages. But most of them probably not. And to get that experience, to be part of a big show like that, there was 130 cast in that. Three dance troupes, a choir, a 20-piece band, all the actors, and a lot of people will be looking back on that, in years to come, and think, wow, look what I achieved, So that's what it's about, when you run a youth project like this, it's you don't go out and audition and get the best players. You work with what you've got, and you try to get that wee guy that's not cutting it in 6 months' time to be there and build them all up. And that's the difficult part, If I went out and all my mates are professional musicians, I could go out and get 10 bands that sound as good as any Apollo band, and a few rehearsals and on the stage. But when you're taking young kids that age, it takes 9 months to get there. 9 months.
But they were brilliant, though. They were amazing.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
And the actors were great as well. That first show was David Anderson. Kindly came along, and Leslie Robertson and the other two guys, Gavin and George. That was 4 professional actors that came along there and helped all the young actors. Coached them all. That was a fantastic. I mean, Dave, I bump into Dave sometimes. He's still doing great. He's still acting, still writing plays and all that. But what a lovely thing for him to do. That was
outstanding. Great. I remember. Could go on all night about this, but I remember the guy who did Jet Mayfair coming on, and I just we were sitting in the circle upstairs, and I was wetting myself. It was absolutely brilliant. And so
Jet actually phoned me up and asked me if I wanted him to play himself. And I thought, it's too late, Jet. It's too late.
That's just Jet, isn't it?
I know.
Some man. Well, listen, Tommy, before we let you go, because it's 10:15. What are you up to these days, mate? What are you working on?
Since the Apollo show, I wrote a similar kind of play about the Bungalow Bar in Paisley, and that was in 2018, a couple of years ago now. So it was basically the same format, jukebox musical, playing great tunes with a funny wee quirky script. and it always seems to work. And as I come from Paisley, there's a thing in Paisley called Smoshaw Day, and it's the longest celebration of a class war in the world. And it was all about the wee guys fighting the big guys for money. And we celebrate it in Paisley every year, the first Saturday in July. And I got money from the council to write a script, which I've written the script.
Right.
We've got the music done. We've got tunes from 1856. Not very rock and roll, but it's songs like "You Jacobites My Name," Black Velvet Band. It's stuff that Burns and Tannehill and people wrote. But we've rocked it up a bit because we're a school of rock, and we tell that story. But because of the COVID thing, we don't know when that's going to happen in front of an audience on a stage. So we're now trying to crowdfund and get some money to turn into a movie.
Right.
So that's we're being movie makers now. So, and the music's great. I've kind of fallen in love with tunes that I grew up and didn't quite get, and because we've taken a new slant to the music, it's become more accessible for a lot of people. And when the album comes out, I think a lot of people like it. And if we get the film done, which we're pretty close to getting things clicking together for that, and if it all happens, it might be August for filming, I think.
Well, Tommy, I think it's fair to say from all of us that you've got some supporters in the Glasgow Polo Facebook group. And thank you ever so much for joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant having you and seeing you, my friend. And all power to you. And I'll tell you what we will do, if it's okay with you, we'll show some of the clips that are on YouTube of the show in future shows, because some of them are just brilliant. And there's a few folks saying, is there DVDs available? Unfortunately, there's not, is there?
Talisman done the first one. That clip that John put in his video is Talisman. So they've still got that, and they were selling that for a while.
Were they?
I
don't remember that. Right, okay. Well, I'll speak to Talisman.
The full shows on it,
Right. John, if you're watching, mate, let's have a chat about that.
What was supposed to happen is we were supposed to splice in the recorded, the full recording going through Pro Tools.
Right. Okay.
And it didn't happen. There was a bit of a glitch, so something went wrong with it. But that sound that you've got there is coming straight from the cameras. It still sounds okay. It sounds fine.
All right. Yeah, it's all right. And just before you go, Bon Scott's asking you, Tommy, you going back to Castlemilk Pool now?
There's a few guys putting some messages up here on the side, and I can read them, but I can't answer. I used to work up in Castlemilk. I've got great memories of Castlemilk. No, that's a while ago now. I'm now. I went from a fitness instructor to a rock instructor. So
good man. That's a good. That's a good closing line. Good man, Tommy. Thank you ever so much for being our guest tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you. I haven't seen you for 4 years. So
I know. And I've not seen Andy since the first show.
Yeah.
I've got mine as well, Andy.
I'm feeling out of place. I've got mine's over there. All right, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy, I'm thinking about getting some t-shirts made up. So if I get them made up,
right,
I might pump one to you if you want one.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All the best. Thanks very much, Tommy.
Thanks for inviting us on. I mean, good fun listening to some great stuff. And keep the show going. Keep it going.
Cheers, mate. Come back.
Thank you, sir.
See you later, mate.
Cheers.
Right, bye. Well, how do you follow that, mate?
Well, he's great. I love Tommy.
Oh, he's a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you how we follow it. It's somebody's birthday today. Do you know whose birthday it is today?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
On this list, there's quite a well-known guy called David Bowie. Is it Bowie or Bowie? Come on, tell me. What is it? I can never get it right. What is it? Does anyone know? Is it Bowie or Bowie? I don't know. It's David Bowie's birthday today. And he died. I think he died on the 10th, didn't he?
David Jones.
Yeah. Oh, you're showing off again. You've been looking that up. You've been waiting to say that all night. I bet you've had that. You Googled that earlier.
I just remembered it.
Yeah,
David Jones. He died.
It's David Jones' birthday. And it's and David Bowie played this week at the Apollo. So before we finish, we're gonna play some David Bowie. And the good news about that is we've actually got the one from tonight, which is brilliant. So who's saying that? Chris is saying it's Bowie. So it's Bowie, not Bowie. Bowie. Right. Thanks, Chris. I hope you're right. What's it? Apparently, Angela's saying it's Elvis's birthday today as well. He never played the Apollo. Yeah.
Elvis I don't rate him now.
Eh?
I don't rate him now. No, I know he didn't play the.
Yeah. Okay. It's like last week when you were saying, "Oh, where are our albums at the top of that best live album chart?"
Yeah.
Ours. Right. Oh no, somebody else. Oh, wait a minute. We're getting an argument now. Chris. Oh no, Chris, it's the same person. Bowie. No, but that. What I need to do is listen to him getting interviewed on the radio and or on a YouTube channel and find out what he called himself. We'll stick with that. Anyway, right. So this time back in the day, the man played the Glasgow Apollo on January the 5th, 1973. God, I was 6. And this is I had a wee search around the rescued recordings, and I looked on YouTube. The quality of some of the recordings wasn't very good, but this one is all right. And so I hope you enjoy it. This is a classic track by the man. I'm trying not to say Bowie or Bowie. And I hope you enjoy it. And the thing about this track is that it is as relevant today as it was in his day, because what he was writing about was about how the media and how the sort of pop culture was becoming more important than it should have been. So we'll talk a bit more about that at the end, but this is the one and only Mr. Bowie.
Bowie.
I chase up to the silver street, but the film is a sad before. Precious secrets and time so far. It's about to be held again. Oh, and they ask me to go to some place, fighting in the dance hall. Oh, and they'll sing and go. It's a big show. Take a look at the old man beating up the road guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best of the show. Is it life or America's tortured brow? Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow, and the workers who struck for fame, which lands on sale again. I'll see the mice in their million hearts, from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. Real Britannia is out of bounds. To my mother, my dog and clowns. But the film is a sad before, because I wrote it 10 times before, and it's about to be written again. As I ask you to move, fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, wonder if you do know. It's a mess of the show. Take a look at the old man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you ever know.
Well, I'm not sure we're ever going to be able to top this show, mate.
We'll have a go. That's a good song. It's a good song.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And if you, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I used to know the lyrics, but I never really used to read the lyrics, if that makes any sense. And if you listen to that and you look into what he's talking about, it is incredible. He wasn't just a rock and roll star; he was a good writer with his writing team. So yeah, fantastic. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week. I'm feeling quite wobbly, having watched Tommy, his stuff. Afterwards, we're going to have our usual Zoom chat. If you'd like to join us, that'd be great. We're usually on for about an hour, just talking nonsense, to be honest. We're getting quite a lot of Cheryl's telling us it's there you go, Andy. There you go. This is how we say Bowie. So it's Bowie, as in take a bow. Bowie. Now if that's right, Cheryl, I'll need to check though. I'm gonna have to look on YouTube and hear him saying what his name is himself. But is that how you would say it, mate?
Bow tie.
Take a bow.
Aye.
A bow tie.
No, as in bow tie.
Aye. Yeah, there's something else. Bon, she said
You
that.
wouldn't
Right?
say a bow tie.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is getting too complicated for me now. Right, enough. Right. David or Ziggy. Somebody else said it. Ziggy. We just call him Ziggy.
Yeah. Mr. Jones.
Okay. And anyway, so thanks very much for watching, guys. It's been brilliant. I think there's been more people tonight than any other show, particularly on Facebook, than we've ever had. So thank you very much. That's amazing. Next week, who knows? Actually, I've got a video. It's brilliant. I need to show you, Andy. I'll show you later. So I hope you enjoyed the show, guys. Thanks ever so much. And my name is Scott MacArthur.
My name is Andy Muir, not Bowie.
See you next week.